Good morning, students. This is Sarika ma'am, and today we will learn about the third part of the chapter 1, reproduction in organism. In this, we'll learn about the sexual reproduction. In the previous two videos, we have learned about the asexual reproduction in organism. Now, sexual reproduction. It is the phenomena of formation of young ones or offspring through the process of formation of haploid gametes, their fusion and the growth of resultant diploid zygote. So during the sexual reproduction, gametes are being formed, they are being fused together and the growth of zygote takes place. This way it gives rise to a new individual. Why is sexual reproduction better than asexual reproduction? Variations pass into the whole population through sexual reproduction. If a good variation, advantageous variation develops in a population, then through the sexual reproduction it is being spread throughout the population, so all get advantage of that. Mixing of genes during sexual reproduction maintains the vigor and vitality of the entire population. So mixing of genes maintain the vigor and vitality means the resistance to the environmental changes and strength. Variations developed during sexual reproduction. So variations are very important and that develop more in case of the sexual reproduction. Variations form the basis of evolution. Due to these variations, evolution takes place. So these all are the advantages of the sexual reproduction. Now we'll see phases in life cycle. Life cycle of an individual is divisible into three phases: juvenile, reproductive, and senescent. The transition from one phase to the other is controlled by hormones. So there are three phases. Juvenile means childhood, reproductive when the organism is mature and start reproducing, and senescent means the old age. And these all life phases are being controlled by hormones. So first we'll start with the juvenile phase. It is a reproductive period in the life cycle of an individual. The period is characterized by rapid growth. So it is pre-reproductive period. During this time growth takes place, which is rapid. All the resources are used up in growth and development of the body. Whatever resources are being available with the organism are used for the growth and development. Juvenile phase is called vegetative phase in plants. Same phase when we talk about plants is called as vegetative phase. The duration of juvenile phase varies from organism to organism. Some organisms mature for reproduction earlier, while others they take many years for the maturation. Second phase is reproductive phase. In this phase, individuals have the potential to reproduce. The early period of reproductive phase is called puberty. Sex organs develop and mature during puberty. So reproductive phase starts with the puberty. During this time, the sex organs and they develop and mature so that the reproduction can take place. Growth is slowed down. Appearance of flowers indicates sexual maturity. During this time, more focus is on the maturation and formation of gamete. So the growth is being slowed down, and this can be seen by the appearance of flower in case of plants. Senescent phase, the third phase also called as aging or old age. End of reproductive phase or beginning of the post-reproductive phase is accompanied by deterioration of structure and physiology of the body. The phenomena is called aging or senescence. The offspring of all body organs and tissue decreases. Efficiency of all body organs and tissue decreases. Chances of catching diseases and developing deformities increases. As senescent is old age, during this time the body organs efficiency, the way it works, decreases, and at this age people catches different diseases and it may lead to the death also. Now next is animal breeding. When animals they do the reproduction, it can take place in different seasons. So accordingly when they do the in which time they do the reproduction, the breeders can be divided as the seasonal breeders or continuous breeders. Seasonal breeders reproduce at particular period of the year. Example, frog, lizards, most of the birds, deer. Continuous breeders, they continue to breed throughout their span of sexual maturity. As they reach to sexual maturity, throughout the span they can reproduce. Example, cattle, poultry, mice, rabbit. Now we'll see the cycles which is present in the organism. One is menstrual cycle, other is estrous cycle. So difference between the two. First point, it is a series of cyclic changes that occur in ovaries, reproductive tract and hormone secretions of female primates from puberty to menopause. So menstrual cycle means changes that takes place in the reproductive system like ovary, reproductive tract and hormone secretion also changes, and that is cyclical changes in the primates. Estrous cycle, it is a series of cyclic changes that are found in the ovaries, reproductive tract and hormone of female non-primate mammals. So estrous cycle takes place in the non-primates. Second point, there is no such irresistible sex urge. So in menstrual cycle, there is no urge for this, while in estrous cycle, which is seen in the animals, is a female develops a strong irresistible urge for sex during the estrus. Third point, blood loss occurs during menstruation. During this cycle, there is blood loss takes place, while in the estrous cycle, there is no blood loss. Fourth point, the slot of lining of reproductive tract is expelled during menstruation. While in menstrual cycle, the lining of the uterus is being thrown out of the body, while in estrous cycle, the slot of lining of reproductive tract is reabsorbed in the body itself. It does not come out of the body. Fifth point, it occurs in female primates, example monkeys, apes and humans. Estrous cycle, it occurs in female non-primates like cow, dog, cats, horse, buffalo. Now we'll see the events in sexual reproduction. Pre-fertilization events. So there are main three events in the sexual reproduction: pre-fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization. First is pre-fertilization. Under this, the main events are gametogenesis and gamete transfer. Gametogenesis, it is the process of formation and differentiation of haploid sex cells or gametes. Gametes can be isogamous, anisogamous or oogamous. So gametogenesis is the process of formation of gametes which are haploid, means half the set of chromosome, and the gametes can be isogamous, means both the gametes are of the same size, anisogamous, they are not of the same size, or oogamous type. It means that the female gamete is large with the reserve food and non-motile, while the male gamete is small and motile. Second step in the pre-fertilization event is gamete transfer. Now the gametes are being formed, they need to be transferred so that the fusion can take place. Aquatic organisms shed their gametes in water. In flowering plants, it is done through pollination. In terrestrial habitats, the animals have evolved various techniques for gamete transfer. So gamete transfer takes place with the help of the water in case of the aquatic animals, and in plants through different agents pollination is being done, where the male gamete, that is pollen grain, is being carried to the female gamete on the flower. And in the terrestrial habit, the other organisms which live on land have developed different ways of transferring gamete. Here we have the diagram. First one, which is showing types of gamete. You can see A is the isogametes, both are same. Second example is of the anisogametes of the chlamydomonas, where one is big, other is small. The third one is the oogamous type, where the female gamete, that is ovum, is bigger and the sperm is small. So here the fourth D diagram is the ovum and the sperms of the human beings are being shown. They are called as heterogametes, means which are different, both are not same. Then here next step is the fusion of the gametes can be seen. So here fusion of gametes, then the zygote is being formed and then it develop into a new individual. In case of the plants, the pollen grain land on the stigma and a pollen tube develop that carries the male gamete to the egg cell. Second event in the sexual reproduction is fertilization. Events leading to coming together and fusion of two compatible gametes to form diploid zygote is called fertilization. Fusion of gamete is called syngamy. So the process of bringing together and fusion of gamete is called as fertilization. Another term for this is syngamy. Now fertilization can take place inside the body of the organism or outside. Accordingly, it is external fertilization or internal fertilization. First pointing, external fertilization. Syngamy means fusion occur in the outside medium, like mainly it is water. In an internal fertilization, it occurs inside the body of an organism, preferably female. External fertilization, second point, both the types of gametes are discharged. In case of external fertilization, both male and female discharge, release their gametes in the external medium, say water. Internal fertilization, only the male gamete are discharged. Third point, the number of young ones is very high. In case of external fertilization, the number of young ones produced are very high because there are more chances that many get killed and few only can survive. The number of young one is small in case of the internal fertilization. Next question, both gametes are produced in large number. In case of external fertilization, gametes are also produced in the large number so that some can survive. Internal fertilization, the gametes are produced in small number. Post fertilization events, another term that we learn is parthenogenesis. Post fertilization events, events in sexual reproduction after the formation of zygote are called as post fertilization events. The zygote, formation of zygote is universal in all sexually producing organism, means whichever organism will reproduce sexually, zygote will be formed. So it is, the formation of zygote is universal. Further, development of zygote depends on the type of life cycle the organism has and the environment it is exposed to. So the development of zygote, how it will take place, depend on the life cycle, whether it is formed, the zygote is being formed inside the body or outside the body, and how is the environment around the organism. Second part is embryogenesis. Embryogenesis refers to the process of development of embryo from the zygote. During this process, zygote undergoes cell division, that is mitosis, equational division, and cell differentiation. Once a zygote is being formed, which is a single cell, it starts multiplying and form many cells to give rise to a new individual. So the division in the zygote takes place is mitosis, which increases the number, and cell differentiation means the different new cells which are being formed take up different structure and function. Some of the cells will become parenchymatous cells, sclerenchyma, or xylem or phloem in plant, or in animals it will become the muscle cell, neural cells, epidermal cells, or other different type of cells. Animals are categorized into oviparous and viviparous based on whether the development of the zygote takes place outside the body of the female parent or inside, that is whether they lay fertilized or unfertilized egg or give birth to young ones. So if the organism is laying eggs, whether fertilized or unfertilized, then they are called as oviparous, and if they give birth to the young one, they are called as viviparous. Because of proper embryonic care and protection, the chances of survival of young ones is greater in viviparous organism. In case of the oviparous organism, as the eggs are being laid out, they can subjected to the predators, so very few can survive. While in case of the viviparous animals, the parental care is being there. A part of growth takes place inside the body of the mother. Therefore, the chances of survival is more in case of the viviparous animals, and the number is also less as compared to oviparous animals. In flowering plants, the zygote is formed inside ovule. After fertilization, what all events that takes place we'll see. After fertilization, zygote start developing into embryo. Ovary changes to fruit which develop a thick wall called as a pericarp. Ovule forms the seeds in the fruit. Sepals, petal and stamens, they wither and fall off. Next is parthenogenesis. What is parthenogenesis? It is uniparental sexual reproduction in which a new individual develops from a single unfused gamete, commonly the female gamete or egg in animals. So parthenogenesis is that new individual is being formed without fertilization from the female gamete. The young ones resemble the mother in all inherited characters as it is developed from the female gamete. The young one resembles to the mother. Parthenogenesis occur in rotifers, many arthropods, crustaceans, insects, some lizards and birds, mainly the turkey. Now we'll see some important terms under the sexuality in organism. Dioecious plants. The male and female flower are born on different plants. Example, date palm, papaya. In these plants, dioecious plants means the male flower develop on one plant and the female plant develop on the another plant. So there are different male and female plants. Example is date palm and papaya. Monoecious plants. Both male and female flowers on the same plant like cucurbit, coconut and maize. In this, both male and female flower, the flowers are different. One is male, other is female, and they develop on the same plant. Like if you have seen on the maize, upper part the male inflorescence are being there and the lower part the female inflorescence are being there. Unisexual animals with distinct male and female individual. Unisexual animals means which have a male different and a female different. Bisexual or hermaphrodite. Both the types of sex organs are present in the same individual like sponge, tapeworm, leech, earthworm. They are called as hermaphrodite means both testes and ovaries are present in the same individual. Next term is meiocyte. Meiosis means the cell undergoing meiosis. The cells which undergo meiosis to produce haploid structure are called as meiocytes, which are diploid. For example, if a meiocyte, which is a cell which gives rise to a gamete, is having the 10 number of chromosome, that is 2n number, and then when it will form gamete, the gamete will have 5 number of chromosome. Here are some diagrams of that show the diversity in sexuality of organism. So first is the earthworm. Earthworm is bisexual or the hermaphrodite. So here you can see in the earthworm both testes and ovaries are present in the same individual. Then second diagram is of the cockroaches. Here the male and female both are different, so they are unisexual. You can see in the male the testes can be seen and the female the lower part the ovaries can be seen. Now the third diagram is C, that is of the Chara. In case of the Chara, it is monoecious plant. The same plant body is having the female sex organ also called as oogonium and the male sex organ, that is the antheridium. Next diagram D is of the Markensia, in which you can see two different thallus, male thallus and female thallus. So it is bisexual where the plant is having only one type of the dioecious plant which is having different type of male plant is different and female plant is different. Bisexual flower of sweet potato, you can see here the stamen are also there and carpel is also being there. So this is about the chapter 1. Thank you.